Hello everyone, and welcome to our almost room. As you see, we've got our windows installed, no flooring, and we're kind of at bare bones at the moment. But before we continue on, Tyler and I were talking about it, and I don't think we've mentioned this on camera, so I felt like this would be a good time to loop you guys in. So when we initially took down the porch and removed the siding to expose this barge board, we were enthralled by the way it looks. Bargeboard construction type houses are very common in the area. Specifically, I think I talked a little bit about bargeboard being used from boats coming down the Mississippi. So historically, you kind of see them in older homes, and it's just a really cool feature of our home that we have these giant, huge planks of wood. I don't even know where you could buy this type of wood anymore. So because it's so unique, we actually decided to leave it exposed. And the question that Tyler and I were talking about is, should we leave it untouched? Should we try to clean it up? What's the method that we're going to do? And luckily, we had a section above what's going to be exposed that I was able to take my sander to and figure out whether or not we liked that look. And then we decided we do. We do like the look of it being sanded, so I'm going to go ahead and spend some time removing nails, and then sanding it entirely. So I wanted to show you guys the before. I'm very interested. I'm very interested in what it'll look like. I feel like it's super unique, and then obviously it's going to be a super cool feature of this room, so I'm excited. Let's go ahead and get to it. Alright, so I wanted to show a before, and you can kind of get a glimpse of what we're working with here and here. So yeah, I mean, you can see initially we've got some discoloration, and then there's these lines here. This is just from many years of siding being on the house.
Alright, so I got everything set up here, and I'm going to test out our stain. So the stain that we selected for this room is special walnut. We use special walnut in our bathroom ceiling, and we've used it on various things in the past. For example, Lena actually has a desk that is stained with special walnut. Actually, also my desk is stained with special walnut. So we just really like this color. It's honestly the most beautiful color. And I think it's going to complement really well with the cypress wall that we have. So just mixing the stain up to make sure all the pigments get all mixed in there. Let's go ahead and open it up. Okay, our stain is now mixed and opened. So now we can actually test it out. It is very dark brown inside of this canister. You can see how it comes on the rag. It's just very, very super dark. But let's go ahead and see how it looks on this wall. It's pretty dark, I will admit. Let's try a bigger spot. It's not that dark, honestly. It could be worse. It's not exactly as I expected. I'm going to be honest. We actually tested it on a piece of one of these offcuts and it looked different. It's unfortunately coming out more splotchy than I expected. We actually used the pre-stain conditioner to try to avoid this, but it's just coming out a little splotchy. Okay, so I got Lena out here and she looked at it, and I wanted to show you all the sample that we made. So this is a sample from a few days ago, and this is the same color, Special Walnut. And it looks really nice. However, I feel like what I just stained right here doesn't quite look the same. I don't really know why. It's kind of odd. I think that maybe the stain maybe changes colors as it really dries and soaks into the wood. Maybe, I don't know. Regardless, I'm just going to trust the process. I'm not 100% in love with the way this looks right now. It's like very warm versus this other piece where it's kind of like washed out. But I'm just going to go ahead and do it, and if I don't love the color, maybe we could just try to layer another stain on top. We've definitely done stuff like that in the past. So, I guess I'll just go for it. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I think actually very bad things could happen if we hate it, but you also could always put a gel stain on top. So, got to remind myself to just trust the process and just follow through. So I'm going to keep on moving forward. Let's see what it looks like after I stain this whole area. Okay. This is looking better. I don't know why it looked initially super warm, but now it's kind of getting that more washed out tone that I'm really interested in. I think I like the way it turned out. Maybe it's all in my head. Maybe it always looked like this and I'm just imagining there's a difference. I don't know, but I think I like this. So I'm gonna go forward with all of the walls, and I'll see y'all on the other side. So this is only actually the bottom parts of the walls. You can kind of see up here how I've only done the bottom part. I still need to get the top. So I actually need to move the platform that the camera's sitting on and rearrange everything, and then I can try to get to the top. So let's do that real fast. Okay, so this is actually another interesting note. This piece of wood is not southern yellow pine. All of the other pieces match except for this one, and it's because Lena and I actually ran out of wood when we were at Lowe's. We bought all of the pine that they had, so we actually had to buy this from Home Depot, and it's a different type of wood. So I'm glad that it looks okay stained, because I was super nervous that it was going to look completely different. But this is encouraging. This is encouraging, at least so far.
Now, at this point, dear viewers, something was about to occur that was completely unbeknownst to Tyler at the time, and it was understandably frustrating. I wanted to include it because it's the perfect example of the type of thing that can send you over the edge. It's so small and so silly in hindsight, but when renovating, you face these silly things that occur that are so frustrating. But at the end, you're like, you know, it wasn't that bad. It's just because of all the little things that pile up, and it all turned out okay, but I just thought it was funny looking back on it.
Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. something extremely frustrating just happened. My ladder fell over and knocked over the entire can of stain. That sucks. The stain is pretty expensive. I think it's like 15 bucks a can. And the entire can got poured out. So there's only a little bit left, so I'm gonna keep going. Luckily we have an old can and we bought a spare can, but gosh, it's just such a big waste of money. It's really frustrating. I guess it just is what it is. I need to be more careful. And we're done. So I'm really happy with the way this turned out. It was a little rocky to begin with because the first piece of wood just did not want to take stain the way that I thought it would. But pretty much every other piece of wood, including that first one after a few coats of stain, really turned out beautiful. I'm just very happy with the way this came out. It's like a really nice dark color that's warm enough but not too warm, and it's like washed out but not too washed out. So it looks really good with the black. I feel like it complements really well, and I'm just overall very excited about the way that it came through. Our next step is probably to build the windowsill here, but I'm not really sure when I'll get time to do that. I'll probably do a few other projects first. But for right now, I think we can just enjoy the way that this came out, and otherwise, I'll see y'all tomorrow.